America's Newsroom co-host Phil Hemmer joins us now to react to that.
Afternoon, nice to see you guys.
Really fiery there for an octogenarian.
Yeah, 5 edits in 15 seconds, I think is what we counted. Listen, it's going to happen. I guess it's going to happen.
Well,
right?
they have all these conditions.
Yeah, they do.
And so I wonder,
that.
is it going to happen, or are they setting the bar too high?
Well, Trump's team came back about 2 hours ago and said, let's do one a month. I don't think they're going to get their way. I don't know if the White House, look, Joe Biden went on offense, and he went on offense because he needed to talk about something other than these New York Times polls from the other day. So I thought it was a smart move on his part. Here, can I take exception to a couple things?
Yeah.
Of course.
So they said that you as a network have to host a primary debate in 2016 on the Republican side and a Democratic primary debate in 2020. Well, Fox News did not qualify for those conditions. Shocker.
Funny how that works.
So it was only CBS, ABC, CNN, and Telemundo, and now we know that it's CNN. The first one in Atlanta. I thought what Jackie Heinrich was reporting earlier today was interesting. I pulled this for you here. She said Biden, despite what his advisors were telling him, really wanted to get this thing going. And to quote her, she said the president resents the digs that Trump has taken at him, his family, and Hunter Biden. The First Lady is especially resentful over that. They think there's a double standard with the Trump kids. So if you thought it was personal, you would be right.
Wow. Bill, it's inflation day on set for us today here at the Big Money Show. Yeah, and Speaker Mike Johnson had something to say about inflation and what it might mean for the election. Watch this.
Everybody knows that Bidenomics has ruined the economy. Everybody knows that the cost of living is through the roof. China is a culprit in some of this as well, but the main culprit is the president and his policies. They have spent too much money. They have grown the size and scope of government, and they have regulated some of our industries almost to the point of extinction. That is what has destroyed the economy. That's why inflation is so high, and that's why the rising cost of living is a top concern for millions and millions of Americans. I think there's going to be a reckoning for that in November.
He says there's going to be a reckoning, but you look at the Dow today with today's inflation report, which I would argue is not good, but the market's up almost 300 points. How much bite does inflation have in November?
I was watching you guys last hour, and you're looking at Dow 40,000 maybe, right? Another 170 points or something like that. Peter Doocy always has a very clever way of asking questions. And he has Karine Jean-Pierre this week. She says, I know you don't like to talk about polls like the 5 or 6 swing states that he's losing right now to somebody who's a criminal defendant. So that did not go over very well. But Karine Jean-Pierre said, look, we came in at a hard time. It was a difficult time. We were crawling out of this pandemic. We had gas prices to contend with. We had Putin's war to contend with. You see the polling that we mentioned a few moments ago about the New York Times about the 5 or 6 states. Here's what I would argue. You can do something about gas prices. You can drill. Pump. You can change your energy policy. I was looking at the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Remember they tapped into that when the war broke out in Ukraine? It's still depleted. It's still halfway down, I believe. I think Forbes is reporting today that there are no plans to fill this thing up until at least October or beyond.
We can't fill it up now.
That's not great.
Raise prices.
I think with regard to the war in Ukraine, I think too often that we have taken a step back and not considered what would have prevented Putin from going.
I agree.
We reported for months on the buildup along the Ukrainian border.
There was no deterrence, Bill.
It was interesting. Ken Griffin, I'm going to go to him in a minute, of Citadel, was the one who said you need someone like Trump there to exude power to prevent some of these things from happening so that you don't get foreign powers poking the bear to see how long they can take us. Stick with me on Ken Griffin of Citadel, big money. You have reports of all these big sort of Silicon Valley executives, David Sachs, Chamath Palihapitiya. Is that sort of the big money, the big donors that Trump needs right now?
Yeah, the answer is yes. He's got a big fundraiser today in Cincinnati, Ohio, my hometown. At the granddaughter, I believe, of the founder of Cintas, which is the big uniform company out of Cincinnati. And then he goes down to Lexington, Kentucky and raises a little more money there. To your point, those are the big boys that you're talking about here. And I was reading some of Ken Griffin's comments from the Middle East. He's traveling there. And he said, I'm not going to make a decision on Trump until I see what his VP pick is. My feeling is, where are those guys going to go? My feeling is eventually they come home.
Right.
Trump really hasn't tipped his hand as to who his VP pick will be. But Griffin's big point was that the reason why the world was kind of placid during those years is because Trump is so unpredictable. And I think we've talked about that
I
a lot
agree.
because, the leaders in Russia and China and Iran and North Korea, they're trying to figure out what Trump was going to do, what was in his head.
Yep.
Isn't it ironic now that we got this Cohen trial who said Trump was an enigma, everybody knew it, and I was going to make money off of him by being the broker to companies across America to tell you how Donald Trump thinks. But that's an aside for tomorrow.
Phil,
Good one.
When the trial comes back.
That's right.
Nice to be with you
there's
guys.
never enough time when you're here. Thank you so much for stopping by.
stuff.